we may have cracked the code when it comes to character unlocks with this new method. It works very well on our endgame account. Really can't wait to show you. Do we get the same leverage? Do we get the same oomph with a new player account? So we're going to be taking a look at the baby account as well. And while we were doing this, while we were putting this information together, we came across a great option, something that might help you to unlock characters faster. I'm not going to say than ever before, but definitely faster than usual. It will definitely accelerate the process. Let's take a look. Sentinel was released on September 3rd. Here we have a screenshot of September 6th, right? So by that time, we're already up to 22 shards of the Sentinel just from using a power core here and there, opening a core orb when we can. Obviously, this is coinciding with his free to play unlock. So we're sort of doubling down, but it's going to have interesting and good results. A few days later, September 14th, notice at this time we have 72 shards. It's around this time. It was September 11th when we did the podcast, but I was talking to Big Positive Geek and we had asked the question. We asked him the question, should I pivot? Right? Should I pivot? Should I stop working on the Sentinel and start working on Nimrod? And he said, absolutely, right? He said, absolutely. You should pivot. You should switch gears and start working on Nimrod. Since we were so close to the unlock, that is what we did. And that, my friends, was a game changer. Time goes on and we unlock the Sentinel on September 18th through natural means. So that puts us at 15 days. 15 days from Sentinel being released into the game and us getting him free to play. Now, we know this is supposed to be the free to play unlock, but because we did the pivot, right? Because we did the pivot, we were able to start working on Nimrod earlier. And because I was tired and sleepy, I put down September 12th, but obviously that's the wrong date. Obviously it's the wrong date. September 25th. By September 25th, we had 68 Nimrod shards. Now, why is that significant? That puts us ahead of schedule, right? If we can get, right, October 3rd will be 3 weeks. If we can get the Nimrod unlock before October 3rd, if we can make that goal, we're ahead of schedule and we're starting to close the gap on the release cadence. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So if we can find the opportune time to pivot, then we can start shortening step by step this release cadence. And because of that free to play unlock, we were able to do that. So can we imitate this with another free to play unlock? Can we look at the math concerning the events and more strategically figure out when to push and when to pivot? If we can do that, we can shorten the time between unlocks, making it more and more in our favor. So if you don't know, I just try to keep 5,000 power cores in the bank. Once I hit 5,000 cores, I buy an orb. Once I hit 5,000 cores again, I buy an orb. I keep a stash of that 5,000 in case we need to use it for something else, right? Some type of other event you want to push. That's what I'm doing. This is what's happening on my main account right now. That's what it looks like. What's happening for you? Is there a different plan, a different strategy that you are using? So Big Positive Geek gave me a reminder I should start tracking how many I get, how many pulls there are from each orb. So I'm going to do that. We'll have that information for you next time. But again, will this only work if you have a strong end game account? And the answer, my friends, is no. You can use it right now. You can use it as a newer player. The only goal is, can you get 5,000 power cores? And that number is I just made that up, right? You might have a different number to use. That's bigger, that's smaller, right? The main thing right now is make sure you get all the power cores that you can. So you got to take arena seriously. You got to think about every day, okay, how can I get through these milestones to get to the cores that I can acquire free to play? So here, baby account, same deal. September 11th, the same day that we had the podcast, we were talking to Big Positive Geek, 12 Sentinel shards on the baby account. By September 14th, 42 shards on the baby account. In September 25, which should have been the last date that we showed from before, we had unlocked the Sentinel free to play on the baby account, meaning that we could start making a move toward Nimrod. So in this particular case, it took us 22 days. So that's a touch. That's just a touch over 3 weeks. But we did pivot, right? We just let the rest of the unlock happen naturally. We could have spread it out. Excuse me, sped it up. We did pivot. And today, this is from today, September 27th, we have 56 Nimrod shards on the baby account. A lot of points to consider. A lot of points to consider. Can you use any of this? Are you using a different method? Right? I think it doesn't need to be daunting. It's not going to take us 2 months. We can get this done a lot sooner. I'm really going to start paying attention to the events, right? If we can start getting some of that math down of when to push, when to let off the gas and pivot to the next step, that can shorten time, right? That can shorten time. We can shorten time in each step. Maybe get this back to a 2-week unlock or less, but it's only going to work if you're an engaged player, right? It only works if you're actually playing the game. There's no shortcuts on that. Let me know what you think. This again, is this something that's working for you? Are you using it? Are you using a different method? Some of you who are more math minded, help me understand the breakpoints. Help me understand the breakpoints. When that unlock is guaranteed, flipping over to the next one earlier just shortens the time. It's something we can do. Hey, if you haven't checked out my videos already, when it comes to, right, got these little short stories, these little movies. We got one on the Sentinel and we got one on Lady Deathstrike. Let me know what you think. We're trying to build some short movies here. Really enjoy your feedback. Let me know. Don't worry, I can take it. I'm a man.